How are those metal arms treated? I just watched you get beaten up by a guy with his hands in his pockets.
It's the journey of Jim.
To spice things up. I mean, I figure if they're with us, they're part of the team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They've just been hanging back and watching us, so...
But yeah, I mean, the city's finest heroes. Who the hell are you?
Mr.
Call
Y.
me Mr. Y, my dear sister. Oh bollocks! I didn't read that. You're making quite a mess, to be honest. But we're ready to make a very generous offer to stop all of this nonsense. Well, we found a lot of those on the floor anyway.
Yeah, we just keep finding those in bins. I don't know why you should... Uh-oh, what's happening? I think we refused his offer. Machine guns! Our greatest weakness! How did they know? It's the one thing we can't defend against. Bullets!
Ruby's got her... Is it Ruby? That was her name, wasn't it? Got her guitar there still underwater, which I'm pleased about.
That is very impressive. I get the feeling that guitar goes everywhere. Bathroom, shower.
Do you think you unlock... Are there more characters to unlock in this, do we reckon? Is that how this goes?
I feel like there are. I don't know if that's like a paid DLC bullshit, or if it's you unlock it by completing the game and stuff, but...
Wow.
I would be surprised for a remake if there aren't extra characters. I mean, that's got to be a big selling point. Yeah, the barrels look pretty explosive. So.
This guy is a pretty... He's a meaty fella.
Yeah.
Check this out.
How are those metal arms treated? I just watched you get beaten up by a guy with his hands in his pockets. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, this guy.
Oh, I timed that.
Twice I've done it now.
Yeah, throw him into the barrel.
Okay. I just pick people up, I'm that strong. I don't even have to grab them. What's this? Look.
Just like one-handed. Like you would pick up laundry. Ow.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, wow, I can jump up in the air and slam them on the floor.
Oh, these guys with their hands in their pockets are annoying. I do feel like we need to figure out a way to cover, like, range more quickly. Why not?
Okay.
That is the problem, when somebody's on the other side of the screen, like, it takes a long time to get.
Oh, the only thing about this guy is he is slow as sin.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I have to ask Dave as well, I mean, at the beginning of all this COVID nonsense, you appear to be doing pretty well in your growing business venture of Bewilderbox. I know that you've had to do some pivoting, but I'm kind of curious to hear how that's going and how you've managed to adapt to this new world order that we're encountering.
Well, to be honest with you, it's gone very well. Like, better than we'd ever thought it was going to go. So, oh bollocks. We've basically taken our escape room games and moved them online. We were very lucky to be working with a developer at the beginning of all of this for a different project.
Right.
So we just teamed up with him and said, look, why don't we make something that's online? No one seems to be doing online games the way that we wanted to do them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's worked really well. We also have a lot of other escape room companies in the industry who we know very, very well.
Right.
And we basically said to them, guys, we've made this game. How about we share it with you? And you don't have to pay us anything up front. We just want to try and share the love of it. But you give us a little bit of the money that you make from each one, and you get the majority. And how's that? And it's sort of worked really well. It's worked well for us and for other companies. And yeah, it's gone really well. It's been bizarre though, because essentially with an escape room that's online, you're making an hour-long video game.
Right.
Which, if you were playing a video game and you paid like 15 or 20 quid for an hour-long game, you'd be like, this is terrible. This is the shortest video game ever.
Right.
Even by Mega Drive standards. But with an escape room, that's what people want.
Right,
They don't
exactly.
play any longer.
Perfect. Well, and I mean, what happened to your physical locations? Have you just had to completely give those up, or are you kind of hoping that we can get back to?
They're mothballed, so they're just like in hibernation basically.
Right.
They're just waiting until the day they can open up again. I'm hoping there's a chicken there. Sorry, a ramen.
Ramen. It's fine. You have that ramen. I didn't need it.
Yeah, we're just waiting to see what happens. So it should be, we think, possibly around all the classic characters.
I know, and she's whipping her boys into shape.
Yeah. We reckon May 17th is. Oh my god! Did you see what I just did there?
I did not know.
I just grabbed two guys and smashed them into
Together?
I don't know how I did it.
Oh.
It was absolutely thrilling. I'm gonna hit this guy with a bottle. I don't think I need the bottle. In fact, I think the bottle probably does less damage than my arms do, but.
I'm not gonna lie, I am beating the shit out of Nora. Like, this is going against my morals a little bit, but at the same time, I'm quite impressed at just how savage a beating I'm laying down on this woman right now.
So yeah, how are you just doing in general? I mean, like, the last time we spoke, you were probably in a very different situation to.
Oh yeah, like my reality has changed wildly in the last 12 plus months. Well, I was very secure in my my corporate sales job, which I've been doing for 10 years, and then COVID came along and essentially wiped out my entire industry overnight. Like, the travel industry just kind of went away because of all the travel restrictions. Companies were no longer asking their employees to travel, so any corporate travel agencies, I mean, it was brutal. Like, they had to get rid of like 60% of their staff globally within a couple of weeks. It was, and you know, obviously there's people that I've worked with for a very long time, a lot of people that were in the US on a visa that got affected in it, myself included. So I got a phone call in March of last year saying, yeah, thanks for all the fish, but you're out of here. And, you know, not only did that kind of kick me out on the street of the job that I've been doing for so long, but I was still in the country because of the visa that I had with that company. So when they laid me off, I was like, now what? Now, luckily for me, I recently married my wife, who's American. So, you know, December 2019, we got married. So as soon as I got laid off, we started green card application proceedings, which are still ongoing. But it meant then that I was essentially in a holding pattern kind of grey area when it came to my ability to work or travel, in that I wasn't allowed to do either of those things. So I couldn't leave the country, couldn't do that anyway because of COVID, but I also couldn't work for like 8 months. So I was pretty lucky in that I got unemployment, and we had some kind of bonus federally sponsored unemployment money. I think they were giving me $1,000 a week at one point, which is actually pretty good money for sitting at home. But yeah, it did kind of mess with my brain a little bit, just not being able to make a living and being kind of trapped indoors, as happened to so many different people. You know, we all got a bit of cabin fever. So I. Like the end of last year, I got my work permit, so that was amazing. So I can now work again. I tried going back into sales and just decided that I kind of had enough of it, and I was just getting back into kind of to pardon the pun. Actually, it's a fantastic pun. You are quite the pun master, so I'll take it. And very recently, I decided that, I just got punted across the screen down a hole. That I wanted to do something entirely different. So I'm in the process of getting a YouTube channel off the ground, which I literally launched yesterday. So my first videos are now up. So anybody who's watching this Journey of Jim, check it out. And it's going to be like a gaming-related content channel, lots of essentially me playing video games and talking over them. I died. And trying to be funny, trying to, you know, be entertaining as I go. But that's
a change of. Well, it's not that much of a change. I mean, when I say it's not that much of a change, what I mean is, as someone who has obviously enjoyed playing video games and is an amusing individual, a man of humour and of, you know, a strong character and caliber, it's not that much of a stretch. And you know, salespeople, that's one of the things I've always loved about working in a sales job is, bollocks, it's fell down that hole. Salespeople are always just like,
do you want to start?
You know, hilarious and charismatic, and they're kind of, yes, I would love that, please. So it's,
don't fall down the hole.
Down the hole again.
Okay, I'll take this dude. You just go and get the stuff.
I feel like I could. Yeah, you can do that.
So, baseball bat in the head.
Start. Don't want to fall down the hole.
Just hitting him with a pipe right now. It's fine. My years of martial arts finesse. Oh, it's the stabby, walking ones. They always were a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they're running at you.
Yeah.
So that's a totally different vibe.
Yeah. So it's very and hence the kind of the title of Journey of Jim. And it's been a little. I spent the last couple of weeks getting all the technology together and trying to figure out how it all ties together. It's also been really fun figuring all that stuff out. And I did at one point think about getting more into the streaming side of it, like the live stream. But as I've done that, I've leaned more into the pre-recorded, edited YouTube side of content, which is more my vibe, I think. I'm not saying no to streaming in the long run, but like to just get myself started, I'd rather build up like a body of work of content that I can actually record and people can watch at any time. So that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing.
I guess it kind of gives you the to hone your craft as well and understand what how you do it and what you're all about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which I think will come pretty quickly and naturally, but.
Which is it's a surprising thing. I mean, there's some delicious ramen here for you, which I can tell that you look a little peaky, like your blood sugar's a little low.
Oh, sorry.
I appreciate that. That was just trying to do a nice thing for you, and you just bat me in the head.
Yeah, do you know what I found has been interesting about this year, or 6 months, longer than a year now, I guess. No, a year. Is that people, obviously, don't get me wrong, a lot of people have experienced tragedy.
Right.
Serious tragedy. But there are a lot of people who have had an awakening of sorts.
Right, absolutely.
Because they've gone through this big thing, this big experience, but they're there. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they're still there, they're still alive, and they've been through this big, made them look at their lives and value what's important, reevaluate what's important, what's not important. And I know so many people that are, making these big changes. They've gone, hang on, I'm not happy with what I was doing before. I wonder
right.
what's out there for me. How can I do this differently?
Yeah. Rather
than just kind of treading water, which is what we've all been doing for such a...
Right, and I think my experience, is very similar to a lot of, people who, I would have really struggled, I think, to have left my cushy corporate job just on my own steam. I think that I'd grown addicted to it in a lot of ways. The salary, the fact that I had, a HR department that was dealing with my legal visa issues, and they paid for my phone bill, like all this kind of stuff that you just kind of take for granted. It was only when it was kind of taken away that I realized how much I was relying on it and how much of my kind of freedom I was giving them in return. I remember this. It's the first game.
This is classic. This is the first game.
That was the special from the first game, yeah. Ooh. Oh, she's bringing in the... Oh, that was amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's your super special, is it?
Absolutely better. That's my super mega special.
Oh, I just did my super mega special.
Oh, hello.
Shoryuken! That's copyright infringement.
Anything where you can count 1 or 2 seconds before you hit the ground is a good move, right?
Yeah. Ow.
Bollocks.
Ow.
Sorry.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Is it going to be the other one? So there was the rocket launcher and there was the minigun. Do you remember?
Yeah. When everyone had their same everyone had the same special move, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
The rocket launcher guys.
Well, no, it was player 1 had the rocket, player 2 had the minigun. It was essentially the same thing. You call it back up, the car would arrive, and then Streets of Rage 2 they turned it into like individualized specials that used up your health.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 you had like your the specials took health with you, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then Street Rage 3, I think you had a special bar that filled up, and it feels like this is like a sort of
amalgam of all of them, yeah. Incoming mortar fire just got.
I just feel like I got.
She's done for.
Hello.
She's nailed.
I mean, to be fair, I did just smack her over the head with a guitar, so...
That's very, very true.
That's expected, isn't it?
Absolutely. So yeah, it's been a wild year. I mean, there's obviously, like you say, there's a lot of negatives, there's a lot of sadness, and a lot of things that we should, be just kind of sensitive to. But at the same time, I think a lot of good has come from it. In a way that only something as big and as upsetting as a year of this kind of upset can be, but like I say, for me, it's kind of forced me into actually doing something that's meaningful in my life and actually taking control of it and doing something that I'm actually passionate about, rather than just chasing a paycheck. You know what I mean? It's I really hope it's done the same thing for a lot of other people as well.
I think like you said, you don't want to. I did the exact same thing last time. I pressed the button and then realised we had a bit of story. Hang on, let's just get the story out of the way and then we'll carry on. Shut it! You broke the law. It's my duty to you in jail. Central requesting backup. Send everything you got.
We're surrounded.
We're surrounded.
They won't get us this time. Get ready. That's your dude's big metallic arm voice, I'm guessing. Come here. Let me punch you with me big arms. I'm with the Special Investigation
Forces.
Is he the dude from the playable character with the yellow t-shirt? Old school, yeah, there he is. What's his name?
Oh, what was
he was from the first game.
Adam. Is that
Might
Adam?
have been Adam? Yeah. Daddy's just going to talk to the lady. That's creepy. Yeah, Adam.
It is Adam. Oh, another character for me to play for one level and decide. Do you know what? It was like the Three Bears porridge. I was like, this guy with the metal arms is too slow. This girl with the guitar is too fast and weak. This one is just right. I don't think we should walk in that.
No, I don't think so either. I'm guessing green goo, probably bad.
So yeah, what we were saying, we were talking about, yeah. So, and I think, the other thing is, it's been such a sort of traumatic thing in many ways. You have to, something good has to come out of it, right?
Right, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, it took me a while to figure out what the positives were. I wallowed in self-pity for quite a long time about, oh, woe is me, why is all of this happening? Until I finally was like, oh, actually, maybe some good can come of this.
Well, like you said, you're in a position where you are. I mean, the thing which I learned from it is, I think I mentioned I told you me and Sarah are moving to Portugal.
So you didn't, but one of our other friends called David did, Mr. Vine. He mentioned that he might actually be joining you for a little while as well.
Yes, he will be, hopefully. I think we can throw that and it explodes. That looks like a explodes type thing.
I don't know if I want to pick up the bottle that looks like nuclear stuff. Alright, let's... Okay, yeah, it is a weapon of some kind. Oh, it creates another one of those puddles on the ground.
Yeah, basically, that's what I kind of learned. I've been so tired. In many ways, I guess I was so tied to my business that I owned,
right?
And felt so, trapped in many ways by it. I couldn't leave the city that it was based in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, doing all this online stuff, online games, and sort of increasing the amount of work I was doing consultancy, and I started writing a comic and doing some other bits.
Nice.
I've just kind of woken up a bit and realised, well, hang on a second, like, I don't have to be tied to this place. I can get a manager to do this stuff and just work to kind of rebuild things again in a life that allows us to do things remotely. And we're blessed in that we've got an opportunity to go and stay in Portugal for a period of time, so we're going to do that. We're not going to be there all the time. We'll be coming back for like some of the summer, but yeah, going to try and be one of those people that you read about on the internet. You know,
oh, one of those kind of people. Yeah, I know the kind of people you're talking about.
You know the ones. I get adverts on all the time. I'm a digital nomad.
Well, it's funny you say that as well, because I had the same vibe, like being tied down to like, you know, a location that you have to go to 9 to 5 every day and the commute and all that good stuff. Like, because Roz, my missus, she works from home, so she can just essentially, you know, make up her own schedule. She works when she wants to. She controls her calendar, and she works from anywhere. As long as she has an internet connection, then she can work. And you know, we both got aspirations to travel and move around and things like that. So that was another reason for doing this YouTube thing, is it also gives me control of where I am when I create content, which can technically be from anywhere. So that's, and I think a lot of people are now, companies are probably not very happy about that, because I know our company was very much like, you can't work from home, you have to work from an office. You know, that was never an option to work remotely. It was everybody's the same. Everybody comes in every day and works in a corporate office environment. And you know, and I even had, you know, I was recruiting and training new salespeople who were asking like, why can't we work from home? So, you know, company policy. Oh, you definitely need that ramen. So, you know, and I'm sure a lot of companies had that same vibe, but now they really kind of don't have that same level of argument, because, you know, it's very difficult to say to people right now that you have to come into an office, because they can just use that COVID excuse, oh, I don't feel comfortable being around people. But also, you know, all of the technology and everything like that has been proved that you can absolutely work from home and be very productive on Zoom and all of these other things. So, you know, companies can't kind of use that excuse anymore. So, and people have gotten used to it now. So it's going to be a brave new world for a lot of people in that sense.
You need that croissant.
Croissant. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You certainly get the sense that I mean, there will be companies that, I mean, because they're as big as they had before. But I'm sure there'll be plenty that will just want to put the you know, put the genie back in the lamp.
Right, yeah.
To do it.
Right, like pretend nothing ever happened. Like, nothing to see here. Go back to your desk jobs.
Exactly. It's like a taste of this new quality of life. Where, I mean, I've got two friends, James Meadows and Mookers, who you know obviously, who commute, and for them it's like 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours they spend a day traveling.
Yeah, and I know it well. I used to do it myself when I, you know, worked in London, lived in Brighton. It's terrible. Like spending all that time on a train every day. I mean, not only because of how long your workday becomes, but the commute itself is fucking stressful. So I don't miss that at all.
You know, I mean, I have friends in those situations, and you know, you were in that situation, and I know you don't see those people as often, do you?
Right.
Like, you'd be organising a meet-up or a drink or something at someone's birthday, and they're like, yeah, I'll be this time after I've got back from back from work, and it's just it's no way to live, really, is it? I mean,
well, I also remember as well, like, because
many people do it.
I was kind of the member of our friend group who had a corporate job, and you know, you were all like musicians and shit. You less so, because you actually had like a 9 to 5, but everybody else seemed to be, you know, musicians who wanted to go out drinking on a weeknight and had nothing to get up in the morning for. I was the only idiot who had to be up at 6 so I could catch a train and go to the office. But you were actually in a similar boat.
I still stayed up though.
Yeah, so same. Yeah. I was always the one cursing everybody's names. Yeah. Smash. I'm gonna cut you with this bottle. There we go. That'll teach you to wear a motorcycle helmet.
I don't like to look at this. Oh, what?
Oh yeah, the flame bottle. That's what could possibly go wrong. No, I'm getting the star because you've got 2.
Okay, do you want to get the flame? Oh, you've got a bottle. Oh, it's that guy.
Oh, it's the kangaroo dude.
Yeah, he was my favourite character.
Yeah, I'll take the. I'll
What
take
his name is, though?
the flaming bottle. Come on, kangaroo.
Hang on, how do we let him out? There's got to be a way of letting him out.
Oh, he's going to follow us into the alley. Do you remember there was, I think it was the second game where, oh, it's this dude, Hagar. Oh, Barbon.
Oh, named after my favourite biscuit.
Bonbon biscuit. That's your favourite biscuit?
No.
What about a hobnob?
For the purposes of this joke, yes. There we go.
There we go.
Ooh.
I did really enjoy her special move actually. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's. Is that canon? Like her having a.
She spent the last 10 years in India, getting all zen. Oh, you need that health right now.
Do.
Smash.
Good.
Sometimes struggle to know which character on the screen I am. I've more than once started like questioning why I'm not hitting the enemy properly. But what's that?
Oh wow, I'm so nearly dead. Oh, she's back in the game.
Oh, I caught him right on the yeah.
I'm gonna whack him with this.
Oh, I've got an engine on a stick.
That classic weapon.
Didn't look practical at all.
Oh,
What is that?
I totally
Nice.
nicked your.
No, I was just providing like foreground image for you to knock him out behind. You know, just create an overall ensemble visually.
Yeah. Rank C again.
Yeah, we're not doing very well at getting above that C rank, are we? First time though, first time.
I feel like that's also a product of chatting as well.
That's very true. We're not 100% focused on just straight game quality.
It's the journey of Jim.